Hello, you're watching Music Tech Chat, the place where we talk about technology and their impact in the music industry. I'm your host, Eduardo Lopez. Today we're gonna be talking about how the technology affects the process of music recording.
In 1877, Thomas Edison created the first recording sound device called the phonograph. The phonograph is able to record sound by using a needle moved by the sound pressure. This needle will crave into a wax foil where then could be played back every time you want. The phonograph was used only as a dictation machine. Because of its rough quality, music still wasn't being recorded. 10 years later, in 1887, inventor Emily Berliner created the first machine to ever record music, called the Vitaphone. The Vitaphone is basically an improved version of the phonograph. Instead of using wax foils, the Vitaphone uses a 78 RPM flat disc to store the recordings. By this time, recordings has to be made by the entire band or orchestra playing at the same time. If some made a little mistake or went out of tune, the musicians had to go back over the top of the song and record it again. This is awful when you're trying to save time and money inside of a recording studio. In 1970, tape recording became standard with the analog 24-track recorder. With this technology, we were able to go back in a recording to edit, record separate instruments, each one at a time, and add some effects, like echo, and reverb. You got to remember that up to this point, everything was done manually. With the arrival of the computer in the beginning of the 90s, almost everything became digital. Now we have what is called a digital audio workstations. This is basically an audio interface controllable by a computer software like, for example, DigiDesign HD audio interface and a software like Pro Tools. Now we have a better control over the edition of each recording session, making this process faster and easier rather than analog recording. Another huge change was that a lot of the effects, compressors, limiters, and other rack systems can be found now as a simple piece of software called plugins. These pieces of software are installed in your computer and are used with your recording program. They have an amazing quality and cost a lot less than the actual rack. One of the most impressive advantages is that you can save your plugin settings for each session alone. So each time you open a session file, all of your plugin settings are set up exactly how you left them the last time you worked on that specific session. Okay, this is all impressive technology, but what does that mean to the music industry? For starters, musicians spend less time in the recording studio, which lowers down general costs. Instruments can be recorded separately, allowing the person in charge of mixing more control over each instrument alone. And most important, recording gear is becoming cheaper, more accessible to the general public. Now people are able to set a decent home studio in their house and still being able to record, mix, and master a record. Well, this is all that I have for you today. I hope you learn a thing or two about the evolution of recording music. See you next time!